Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I am Andrew, and today I have got a book tag for you, but before we get into that, make sure you do all that regular YouTube nonsense. Please like, comment, subscribe, as it helps the channel grow. Make sure to check that link down below for the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord, and yeah, let's jump right on into this. Now, you're seeing this on a Wednesday, and that is because I'm building up a backlog of tags that I've just kind of been neglecting, and so I am starting to get to these. And recently in the Discord, we did a Flashback Friday, which is basically where content creators can share videos that they were really proud of, but that didn't perform super well. And I got reminded that I was tagged in this book tag months ago by my friend Jake, the Bookish Drummer. And at the time, I was really excited to do this tag, and it just kind of fell by the wayside. And this is the Led Zeppelin Book Tag, and this is basically a book tag surrounded by and inspired by Led Zeppelin songs. And I believe the initial plan was to do like albums as tags all the way up until, you know, from starting to finish. I don't believe that ever materialized, but still, this is a fun tag, and I want to get it out to you because, frankly, after doing a terrible intro like that, I feel like I owe it to Jake. That said, let's jump right on into this book tag with the first prompt. Good times, bad times. Name an author you've read a great book from and a bad book from. And I really struggled with this one because I ended up just using the same author that Jake used, and that's Stephen King. And for me, that's because he's got fantastic books that just absolutely hit for me, wring me out emotionally, and others where I'm just sitting there waiting for this to be over. And my favorite by him is, of course, Needful Things. I love this book. I want to get the special edition that just came out, but I'm unwilling to spend the money to get it. But, I mean, Needful Things is probably one of my all-time favorite books ever. And, I mean, that's saying a lot considering how much I've read. And then, of course, I'm going to hold up Cujo. Don't groan at me. I know. Cujo just didn't end up working for me. It was a swing and a miss. Okay, number 2. Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Name an author that you've outgrown and you have no desire to read anymore. And typically, like, if I have it on my shelf, it's something I want to read. So, but, I mean, there's tons of authors that I've mentioned that I've outgrown, but I want to talk about something that, like, I've just been struggling with, and I usually keep it to myself, or you can see me rant about it in live shows if I'm in the comments section or if I'm on screen, and that's going to be Michael J. Sullivan. And I know last year there was this huge push for Michael J. Sullivan with Rhaenyra and Legends of the First Empire, and now he's got a new series going. For me, Michael J. Sullivan feels very intro to like adult fantasy, and there's just a lot of elements in those stories that don't work for me. I still have my Rhaenyra Revelations, which I enjoyed that series more than I didn't. And it's been sitting on my channel, but Chronicles is sitting on my shelves. Chronicles has been sitting on my shelf for a long time, and I just feel no drive to reach for it. That said, I do plan on reading Chronicles because I do want to explore the origins of Royce and Hadrian. It's been, you know, I've been burned. Like Legends of the First Empire was a real eye-opener for me. There were elements of those stories that just really, really didn't work for me. And I'm nervous to try more Michael J. Sullivan since that experience. So that's going to be my answer there. Prompt number 3, or question number 3, You Shook Me. Name a book that shocked you with something unexpected. And this is going to be a recent read. This is going to be Speaks the Nightbird by Robert R. McCammon. A lot like Stephen King's It, there's a WTF scene about halfway through this book that just kind of left me speechless, that caught me incredibly off guard. And I know that is probably going to make some people not read this. It happens one time, it's halfway through the story, and yeah, it happens. So there's that. All right, number 4, Dazed and Confused. Name a book/author that I don't understand the hype for. And I've been very vocal about this. Very, very, very vocal. I do not understand the hype for R.F. Kuang, The Poppy War. I don't understand it. You know, she's got Babel out now. People are saying that, you know, Babel's either very mid or it's very good. I've kind of just stayed away from that. I tried the Poppy War, and I did not enjoy that experience at all. I like the lore and the history behind the Poppy War, but the story and the characters that are within that story just don't work for me. That's not for me. I don't think it's particularly well executed, and that is just something that when people say they love the Poppy War, I'm like, I'm happy you love this story. I don't understand it, though, because I tried reading Dragon Republic. I got maybe a chapter in before I was already groaning, and I just DNF'd it right then, right there. All right, number 5. Your time is gonna come. Name a book that's been on your TBR for more than a year. Well, my patron and friend Trin is, of course, going to call me out for Draconis Memoria. I have been needing to read this now for well over a year. It's been a long time since I not only purchased these books, but I finished Raven's Shadow. Oh, God, when did I read Queen of Fire? It's been well over 6 months since I finished Queen of Fire, and I've been needing to get back to Anthony Ryan. This is the next series I want to pick up. I know there's the sequel duology. I think it's Raven's Mark. Did I get that wrong? No, it's Raven's Blade. I always get... There's like 3 really similarly named Raven series by 2 different authors. And I always get this mixed up. But Draconis Memoria is definitely one that's been on my TBR a long time that I have a lot of interest in. I just can't seem to fit it on that TBR. Someone's going to have to make me read this. I say that, but I really, really do want to read it. All right. So we did number 5. Number 6, Black Mountain Side. Name a book with an unusual, unconventional setting. And that is going to be Trudy Sky's The Cruel Gods. This is, there's like different realms, there's like portals. The way that the environment is set up is all the mortals live in like a central hub. And then kind of like a wheel, almost like a clock. Yeah, right there. There's like all of these different realms. So like if this is the mortal realm, right smack dab in the center, these are like all the like realms of the gods almost. Like that's how my brain kind of pictures this world. And it's done in like a steampunk Gaslamp style setting. It's very, very cool. I highly, highly recommend this series. I had a great time with it. I love the characterization. I love the themes. I love the execution. I love the world building. I love the magic. I loved this book. All right. So that means we are on to number 7, Communication Breakdown. Name a book you buddy read with somebody that you completely disagreed with. And normally I'm buddy reading with Nico, or Joanna, or Sarah, and usually we all have a great time with the books, and we have a great time discussing it. Or we're pretty much in consensus thereabouts, like within, if you're using a star rating, we're usually within a star of each other. So completely disagreed with, I had to go with a read along. And the read along I'm going to do is Shadow Campaigns by Django Wexler. I got here I was having an okay time with the series. I gave each book 4 stars. And then I got here to Guns of Empire, book 4. And there was a scene in here that just wrecked it for me. And then I hear it just gets even worse in Infernal Battalion. And so at this point, I now have to disagree with my good friend Alan that Shadow Campaigns is better than Brian McClellan's Powder Mage. Say what you want about the novellas, but Era 1 of Powder Mage was decent, and Era 2 was absolutely amazing. I really, really enjoyed that experience, and I got to about halfway through this book, and I was done. There's a thing called Tyrant's Disease within this book that just didn't need to happen. We already had LGBTQ plus representation within the series. One of the main characters is in a sapphic relationship, and then it just gets called a disease, like in the 4th book. Like, we've got 1 book left, and you're gonna throw Tyrant's Disease in there. And it just felt unnecessary. It felt cringy. It already felt natural and inclusive within the story, and then you made it not inclusive and natural. Why would you do that 4 books into a series? I don't understand. And I DNF'd this series. I put it down. All right, we are approaching end here with number 8. I Can't Quit You, Baby. Name an auto-buy author. And it's funny because I cannot quit John Gwynne. I love John Gwynne. I need to read Bloodsworn because I've got Bloodsworn 1 and 2. These are the only 2 John Gwynne books I haven't read. I really loved Faithful and the Fallen. I didn't so much enjoy Of Blood and Bone. And so I've been kind of sitting here. I think I'm waiting for this trilogy to end, but I mean, I keep buying the books on release. So this obviously proves that John Gwynne is an author for me, and I want to just marathon that whole trilogy when the 3rd book finally comes out. All right, and number 9. How many more times? Name a book/series you keep coming back to even after you've DNFed it. And I'm going to interpret this as a series I can't stop wanting to give a second chance to. And that's because I don't personally vibe with Tim Gerald Reynolds as a narrator. But I do recognize that he is a fantastic narrator of fantasy books, and he does a fantastic job. There's just something about the way he narrates that I really enjoyed him when I first started listening to audiobooks. But as I've kind of moved away and gotten more experienced, his performance for some reason makes me criticize books harder. That may be what happened with Michael J. Sullivan, as I mentioned earlier on in the tag. And so when I listened to 5 Warrior Angels by Brian Lee Durfee, and I believe the first book is Forgetting Moon, I did not have a good experience with it. And I kind of want to lay that at the feet of Tim Gerald Reynolds. And I can't stop thinking, because, here on BookTube, it's a very hyped series. There is a lot of love, like Patrick, Mike, all of these great people love The Forgetting Moon, and I didn't. And I want to know why I didn't love it, but all of these other readers have. And I know people have differing tastes and things of that nature, but, I am very critical of that book. And I don't understand why, it gets so much more attention from these people. And so I want to reread it. I want to reread it physically because I feel like I was hypercritical of it on audio. And if I reread it physically, I'll have a better experience. And so it's one that I just can't stop thinking about. So my answer for this one is the 5 Warrior Angels, because it is one that I just absolutely want to give a shot at redemption for, because I feel like me listening to the audiobook and then judging it based off of Tim Gerald Reynolds' performance, who I've already, stated I don't vibe with, may have hurt that book's rating. Because I gave it a very harsh, I think I gave it 2 stars. I didn't DNF the book, I DNF'd the series. I never even made it to the 2nd book. And so it's one that, I've put back on, I want to reacquire these books, and then read them again, so that maybe I will have a just vastly different experience the second time through and fall in love with the series. So that's kind of my answer and my hope there. Now, it is time to tag some people. So I am going to tag my good friend Mike over at Mike's Book Reviews, because I think he would love the Led Zeppelin tag. I'm also going to tag my BookTube big sister, Leslie, the Nerdy Narrative. I know she doesn't do a whole lot of book tags anymore, but, I still would like to see her answer for this. I am going to tag my friend Madison Goodyear, because Madison is awesome. And then I'm going to tag Matt's Fantasy Books and Scott the Bald Booktuber. I would love to see y'all do this tag. That said, guys, that's all I got here for you. So till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.